I've seen the Warhammer one. I haven't seen Pac-Man yet.
It's the bloodiest episode.
Which one?
Pac-Man. Pac-Man is the bloodiest episode.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome. You guys are being weird.
Nice to meet y'all. You guys got Secret Level, which is coming out. I'm excited. I've seen a few things, and I'm happy to see it. Also, you guys, worked with each other, Blur Studio, Deadpool, all the cool things you work. Thank you for all the work on the video games that I've played, Star Wars games and other stuff.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Knights of the Republic. I'm a big fan of these things.
Yes, we are too.
Yeah, no. So I was gonna say, what challenges did you guys face while collaborating with multiple gaming studios and managing their IPs on this project? Like, were there any, not necessarily issues, but was there anything that you were like, okay, this is a little taxing, we're gonna have to figure out how to get around some of this stuff so we can make the best product that we got?
I'd say it was less taxing than usual because, we've got 30 years of experience doing this, and it's kind of the same drill. We're borrowing their characters and their worlds, and we're telling stories. But usually, for the video game trailers and the stories, it's much more specifically tied to a release of the game. What kind of weapons are going to be there? What's the gameplay like? Things like that. I mean, they're often very story driven too, but there's a little bit tighter of an agenda. Whereas here, the goal was just to tell a compelling story. Could be tied to a future release or a coming release, but it was more story focused than usual. And they trust us because we've been doing it for a while and we know how to collaborate. We're good.
The game developers are very collaborative. In fact, you mentioned the Old Republic trailers. Mm-hmm. When we were making them and all they were making with the games, we had more freedom. When they were making the movies, again, less. So.
Oh, I feel that. Can you guys, I guess, describe for me like the selection process for the games, or did you all maybe use your 30-year background to maybe reach out to people you worked with in the past, or was it like, oh no, we have like a specific list?
That would have been a good idea.
Or just put numbers in a hat and
just pick them.
Definitely not. I mean, like doing anything new is tricky in this town. Like folks, unless there's like a successful test case that folks can point at and say like, see, it works. Do you want to be a part of it? Like they're usually a little reticent.
Which luckily we had Love, Death, and Robots, which was
not only Love, Death, and Robots, but a lot of the developers. Like you mentioned the Old Republic games. James Arden, who ran that game when they were making it, is now running the studio making Exodus in our series. So there's a lot of like trust that comes from those developers, and so it's a process of both like who trusts us with their IP and sort of.
And several other verticals that we have to cover, like what's the genre, sci-fi, fantasy, horror?
Right.
What's the type
Something
of game?
for
Is it
everybody.
first-person shooter?
Yeah.
You stole my line, Dave.
Yeah, because we only got a couple of minutes.
No, sorry.
How involved were the studios with just the development of this project? Were they super involved, or did they give you a lot of creative freedom? Or
runs the spectrum.
Yeah, but I would say more freedom than like. I mean, most shows like there are a lot of like sort of guardrails, and in this one we really got a lot of freedom. Like once we had sort of decided it's like these group of characters and maybe this sort of.
Once I told him Dave Wilson was in charge.
Yeah.
they were just like, let's go.
They just let go of the tiller, laid back, had a margarita.
It was very free. Like Amazon too. Like it was pretty incredible.
That's sweet. All right, this is just a question for me as a gamer out of curiosity. Was there any issues with making that Concord episode after what they had gone through with the development of their
We
game?
had already made it.
Yeah, no, you guys
it
had
was in the
finished
can.
it. So was there like pull the plug because it didn't do well sales-wise?
No.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not really. I guess on some level that is advertising for the game industry and the games, but on most levels, people look at this as we're just telling interesting stories with pre-existing characters and worlds, and we didn't think for a minute about pulling the game.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. I was wondering if they were like reaching out to you about that.
No one does anything we don't want to do.
There you go. That's how it should be.
Actually, well, no, that's a good question. Nobody's asked that before.
I'm only asking.
Did they think about pulling it? No. I don't think so.
No, I mean, like this is sound, but they did reach out to us, like Firework, and they were like, how would you like to do this? And like, it wasn't, like Tim said, it wasn't even a question from us. Like, it serves no purpose to not let people enjoy the episode that we made. Not just like audiences the world over, but like all the folks that worked on it. Like those episodes, like that one in particular, probably took, I don't know, close to 2 years to make those 15 minutes. Like it's a lot of love goes into those episodes.
I asked because I saw it and I was like, now this needs to be a series.
Yeah, it's cool.
So when I was watching it, I was like, man, I enjoyed it definitely from a creative storytelling perspective. But I was like wondering, just because I've worked with gaming companies in the past, and usually, if there's bad press around something, they're like,
they want to bury something.
They usually want to bury it.
We
move
barrel
it out.
right towards it. That is our.
You're like, let's go.
But I would say
fire over
but
there.
he's got a good point there. I would say kudos to PlayStation where
Right.
they just said, yeah, it's done.
Yeah.
It's in the show. Let people see what it.
I mean, I
what it
say
could
that
be.
like if they we would have. I think we would have considered it had folks been really averse to it, but no, like they were, like it feels like
I don't know that anybody ever said
No.
Nobody even said, hey, what if we said
There wasn't like there was an example to point at of like here's how you should have handled that situation, and in lieu of that, people turned to Tim and I, which isn't always the best idea.
It seems like a decent idea.
run it?
Yeah. Well, I would assume that you guys are gamers yourselves, obviously working in this industry for so long. Would you be able to tell me if you remember what was the first game you all played, or the game that resonated with you the most when you were younger?
You would have to pick what, like, was it a console? Was it a handheld?
Let's start with consoles. What console is your favorite of all time?
Well, I'll
Favorite or first?
Favorite of all time. Best
favorite.
because I got a favorite for me, but I know it's not most people's.
But
favorite.
you would have to say it's not like the Atari console I had was my favorite, just because.
Because that's your nostalgia.
Yeah, that was my cool thing.
We
but
didn't,
Space
we didn't
Invaders
get
was
Atari
my
in South
first
Africa.
game.
We had an Intellivision. I remember that. There was a game on that called Night Stalker that I remember.
Okay.
But favorite of all time, oh man, I have very fond memories of the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
That was, but man, first game ever was on a PC, and I think it was like Montezuma's Revenge or something like that. It's like way
I
back
remember.
Is that a
in
game?
Yeah, Montezuma had a game.
Man,
Yeah.
mine was Space Invaders. I was hanging drapes, working on a truck delivering furniture.
I feel like Load Runner's the first thing I played on a PC.
You know what? The first thing is in the back of the family station wagon playing those Game & Watch things. It would have been like Donkey Kong. Like,
Do you all have a favorite game of all time?
oh man.
If you had hours played, it might be Tetris, unfortunately for me. But
Tetris still big.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, one I had the most fun with. We probably had the most fun with Quake. I would say we would
Favorite
have these
first
giant
person?
fucking
oh,
land
they're all
games.
different. Like it's difficult. I remember like seminal for me was this series by this guy called Richard Garriott. He made this series called the Ultima series, which was like role playing fantasy. Like it was like D&D adapted into
Were
a
you
video
at the
game.
studio when we did Ultima 9?
No, it wasn't. It was 7, and it was the Blackgate, and I didn't even know Blue had done that. But it was the first cinematic I ever saw. This character reaches through this Blackgate at the end of the thing, and I watched it probably 100 times.
Who
Turned the lights off in
supervised
my
that?
bedroom.
Was that Jed?
No, dude, we went.
No,
I was still in South Africa. I would have
yeah.
been 16 years
Oh, it was
old.
Aaron. Yeah.
Hey guys, let's turn this into a podcast later.
Sorry. Sorry.
I'll wrap it up with this. What games are y'all playing now? Anything? If you have time.
Right now, I play Valorant a lot with my kid.
Okay.
Minecraft, and Diablo. But I haven't played for a while now.
Yeah.
This show has been.
It sounds like you're. It
all-consuming.
sounds like you're playing a lot.
Yeah.
And Minecraft.
And to leave you on this, is there a must-watch episode from this series that you all would recommend?
Depends who you are.
Okay, well that's cool.
If you like violence,
Pac-Man.
Warhammer.
Or Warhammer.
I like the contrast of that Pac-Man.
There's no
'Cause
difference.
I've seen the Warhammer one. I haven't seen Pac-Man yet.
It's
more-
the bloodiest.
more
It's the
violent
bloodiest
than
episode.
Which one?
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man is the bloodiest episode in the show. Yeah.
All right,
it's
I'm
the most
excited.
disturbing episode.
I'm very excited to see this.
You know,
Okay.
they're fucking all good. Unreal Tournament is like a favorite because I love the
Outer
game.
Worlds. They're different
very
for
funny.
different reasons.
All right. No more spoilers. I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you
Yeah,
for having
thank
me.
you.
From one gamer to another.
You're gonna go play a game of
Yeah,
golf
y'all be
now.
safe. All right.
Yeah.